Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm gonna get straight to the point in this one because this might be kind of a long video. About 2 weeks ago, a guy named Ethan is Online made a video talking about sensitive society where he generalizes most commentary channels and proceeds to immediately contradict pretty much everything he says. Now the video is an hour long and I'm not gonna talk about every single thing he says because he does repeat himself multiple times, so I'm gonna try and cover at least the main parts of his video. But he released a video called Lazy Content is Radicalizing People. And in the first 10 minutes of the video, you can already tell he doesn't know what the word radicalize means. But anyways, let's check it out.
Fucking shitty videos. 2015 YouTube is back and in a big way, folks. I mean, Leafy got banned quite a while ago. Little fucking Nazi. And yet there still remains an entire genre of boring, hypocritical, bigoted gamers out there that feel the need to just throw their opinions out there. Hey, fucking newsflash, asshole. Not that many people give a shit. If you hate women, you don't have to say it out loud. Like, you're allowed to be quiet. If you're not...
So right off the bat, in the first few minutes of the video, you can already tell how he captures his audience's attention. Same how he does with his thumbnails and his other videos, is by saying buzzwords. This content creator is insert something word here, phobic, or bigoted, or homophobic, or fatphobic, or racist. He does this multiple times throughout the video where he just shit-slings these words with absolutely no context and no background, so be ready for that.
Recorded earlier that day and talk about something over it. It's not a new format by any means, it's been really lame for the better part of a decade. But because it allows so many deeply insecure young men to voice their opinions about feminism being bad or whatever while hiding behind footage of Doom Eternal, it remains a very popular medium. The biggest problem with some of these little guys is that they all appeal to a very specific demographic. You know the one. All you need to do is keyword search a woman through any of these weirdos' videos and it kind of tells you all you need to know.
Yep, they all appeal to a specific demographic, just as you do. In fact, majority of your videos can be seen as politically correct videos, which is something that sounds like you're trying to appeal to. I typed in incel and conservative because those seem to be two useful buzzwords that happen to be in the title of most of your videos. And guess what? I found quite a few results. What's the point you're trying to make here? It's insane to pull this shit out of context and imply that Sensitive is bashing women for no reason when he never does that. Every time he makes a video on someone, it's over the premise of them doing something really screwed up or saying something horrible. Apart from that, he's made tons of videos on men who harass women and calling them out for that, but you're not going to add that in, are you? Also, I want to reiterate, because I don't think my point is too clear here, but Ethan is Online appeals to a specific audience of people who listen to buzzwords and call people names with absolutely no background or context. And not to mention how in the beginning of the video that he calls these channels bigots, which is obviously he's implying Sensitive Society is one since that's his main talking point. And given that he takes context out of Sensitive Society's videos and completely changes his words, yes, he's appealing to a demographic of people who just listen to these words and will brand and label people like this for legitimately no reason.
It's really difficult to find content these guys put out that doesn't just automatically pull from the floating cloud of right-wing talking points that consistently loom over YouTube. In other words, not only are these guys really lazy, but they're also really unoriginal. So if you've heard these talking points before, congratulations. Get ready to hear them again.
Trans people weird, bootstraps, whatever the fuck that means, gender, OnlyFans bad, wokeism is ruining my TV, SJWs, homophobia, and fat equals bad. No one ever directly says any of this shit. He does this a lot in his video as well when he's talking about Sensitive Society, is that he completely misunderstands the point of the videos and then proceeds to label them as something completely different. I like who he also says in the beginning of this video that he doesn't care much for lazy content.
And then when you actually watch these videos, it's the same talking points over and over again. It's lazy content, let's not beat around the bush here. And I don't even necessarily have a problem with lazy content as a rule, but do you really have to exclusively talk about e-girls and OnlyFans?
But proceeds to use that as a main point in his video, that his content is lazy. I find that so ironic and hypocritical coming from a guy who's just standing in front of his camera, who literally does not make a single human fucking emotion throughout his entire video, except occasionally adds a green screen effect, because apparently that's not lazy content. And don't get me wrong, because like there's not a single commentary channel who will sit here and say, yeah, my job as a commentary channel as editing videos with gameplay is super difficult, and I put tons of effort into it. That's not true. No commentary channel will ever say that. Any commentary channel you ask will be like, yeah, it's pretty fucking easy. I just sit in front of a microphone and talk, and then I slap gameplay over it that I played earlier today. Like, no one's sitting here saying that this is like crazy hard content. But to act like you have some higher standing because you show your stupid ass face in a video doesn't prove anything, especially when you add nothing but like an occasional green screen effect. In fact, here's the average Ethan is Online video. I'll make one for you real quick. Hey guys, Ethan is Online here. Balls. Like, that is quite literally the majority of all of his content. It's just an occasional zoom in effect, maybe a green screen effect, and then nothing else.
The channel we're gonna start with is Sensitive Society. He made a video called People Like This Disgust Me.
Some of you have been telling me to react to this TikToker called Kaya Mints. I've been hearing nothing but bad stuff about this TikToker. I haven't seen any of these person's TikToks. Judging from some of these thumbnails, day in the life of a content creator, like when I see stuff like this, like all I think is you're cringe. And number two, you've never had a hard day in your life.
Other than showing one full thumbnail, which would really give us a good idea as to why he might be so disgusted by this person's content. He's trying to justify his vitriol and hatred for someone making day in my life TikToks, which if we're talking about cringe content on TikTok, that's, I mean, one of the tamest things I can think of. It's actually infinitely more cringe and disgusting, really, to post a video this angry about someone you don't even know while playing the Ninja Turtles game.
The whole reason Sensitive Society made that video, or two reasons actually, was because the Kaya Mints guy said some really obnoxious shit throughout the video, but Ethan leaves huge pieces of context out to try and twist Sensitive Society's videos and his words.
To my local gas station for a couple drinks, went home and did my normal usual routine, and then I had to go to Walmart because my fridge was almost empty. Came home, edited a couple videos, had a 4-hour stream that peaked at 56 viewers and averaged 23, and then I was pretty tired.
You're acting like this is the hardest thing in the world.
Hey man, so when did he say that? When did he ever say the word hard or any synonym?
He does say that. The guy he's talking about actually says in one of his TikToks that his job as an editor is harder than your average 9 to 5. But you're not going to add that in because that would make you look bad and that would literally discredit the entire first, I think 40 minutes of your video. And just to top things off, Sensitive Society actually made a video after this video saying that he took an L and he's sorry because he realized that the Kaya Mints guy was being satirical. It's a quick video of him just saying, yeah, I fell for the satire, I was completely wrong, and I'm sorry. But Ethan isn't gonna say that. He's not gonna show the video either, because once again, he's leaving out context to push a narrative, which is very hypocritical. Ethan also says that he's watched hours of Sensitive Society's videos, so he has the right to criticize him. So either that's a complete fucking lie, or he's leaving context out on purpose. But no, Ethan's not gonna add that in, is he?
You have the clips, like you could show it. You have the clips, like you could show it.
I don't understand how somebody could say something like that and not immediately be embarrassed how fucking obvious the hypocrisy is there. You have the clips, you could show it. You also have the clips, you're talking about the video. You watched his video, you're talking about it right now. You could show it, but you're not gonna.
My problem here is you're low-key acting like this is a 9 to 5 and someone forced you to wake up at 2 a.m.
Okay, so horrific attempt at a joke aside, he literally never said any of that. These fucking guys love to make up a narrative out of nothing. All he said.
He does say that in the video, but I'm not going to dwell on this any longer because, again, he just repeats himself and leaves context out.
I don't know how I haven't gotten a heart attack or committed suicide yet. I'll give it a few weeks.
Are you fucking serious? This guy is complaining that he might have a heart attack from trying to find content to talk about while playing video games. What a lazy piece of shit. You don't hear mechanics or coal miners complaining, do you? I'm a content creator and put way more effort into my videos than you do. And I've never once said I might have a heart attack. Do you hear how fucking stupid that is? Do you hear how unfair and manipulative that sounds?
I do realize how stupid that sounds, because that's not what he was implying, you fucking moron. The whole point of this was saying that no, you shouldn't be complaining about something so minuscule and unsevere. Hearing somebody say that they streamed for 3 hours, walked to the store and edited videos for a couple hours, made them so exhausted that they had to go to bed, sounds ridiculous, from any standpoint. And then following up with him saying, my job is harder than your 9 to 5, yes, rightfully so. I think anyone has the right to criticize this guy for saying that. And it's not like any of that even matters in the first place now, because Sensitive Society already made an apology the day after that video, saying that he realized it was satire. So everything this guy has been saying about this first video, about the Kaya Mints guy, has been literal bullshit. Like, every argument he's made is completely void, because Sensitive Society already admitted to falling for the satire.
It's, like, pretty insane that in a video that's only 8 minutes long. You somehow manage to criticize someone you don't know for doing something, and then doing the exact thing you're criticizing him for doing. Like,
It's also pretty insane that in a video that's 58 minutes long, you managed to out yourself as a hypocrite in the first 5. Every point he's made so far, he's managed to contradict himself. Oh guys, I don't care for lazy content, but I'm gonna use it as one of my main talking points in the video. Oh, this guy leaves out context and is manipulating his audience. I'm gonna do the exact same thing, and just pray that my audience doesn't actually look into the things I'm saying.
he's a streamer. It's not the same job. The videos that he films for TikTok, which again is a very different kind of video than what you're making, actually usually require some editing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah, ever heard of editing, guys? Apparently all you have to do is turn on your camera, add in a couple zoom-in effects, and boom, you're automatically more skilled than everyone else on the platform. Sensitive Society zooming in and out of his gaming clips is literally the same amount of editing you're doing as well. It's practically no different. Except the only difference is the gameplay is actually somewhat entertaining compared to you raising your eyebrows every, maybe 10 minutes to show that you're an actual human being and not a robot with skin on it. Anyways, that was the first 15 minutes of his video, which is completely down the drain now because Sensitive Society, again, already made an apology video. So every argument he made literally does not stand.
You'll never guess what his takes are about fat people. You're never gonna guess. You never guess it.
Whoa, an earthquake! No, I'm kidding.
That's so awesome. I love first grade humor. Being 8 years old must be really fun.
Oh, he doesn't have the same humor as me? It must be first grade humor, you fucking child. We over here at the Ethan is Online channel, we only watch high IQ jokes like Rick and Morty, guys, right? Do you ever watch Rick and Morty? No, you probably wouldn't understand because your IQ's not high enough for those jokes. We don't like first grade jokes here. You're such an obnoxious motherfucker, dude.
Here's the thing. I do think that people choose to be fat. I do believe that there's some people that are just so fucking lazy and they just love to eat junk food and they can't go one day without having a burger shoved down their fucking throat. I do believe that. That's on you.
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? The escalation of that sentence was just crazy to hear. I do think it's a choice to be fat, but some lazy fucking motherfuckers just can't stop stuffing burgers in their mouth. Like, oh my god, being honest about how much you hate fat people for looking fat is way less disturbing than what you just said. Obviously, being fat is not a fucking choice.
It's not a choice for some people, yeah, that's true. There are disabilities and physical ailments that stop people from losing weight, but Sensitive Society didn't discredit that. He said he believes there are some people out there who just can't control their habits and refuse to do anything to change their lives. And then you take it out of context and just say you hate all fat people. He never implied that. He never said that. In fact, in multiple videos, Sensitive Society has even said, if you want to live that way, then live that way. Just don't convince other people to live unhealthy lifestyles as you do. But no, Ethan has to twist his words into something completely different to push his narrative, which is something, again, he accused Sensitive Society of doing.
Again, maybe I'm being a little firebrand, controversial guy, but I also don't think we should blame people and shame them for circumstances they don't have very much control over.
That's the thing, he wasn't doing that. He was talking about people who don't control their habits. Like, he made that so evidently clear. And once again, you completely reworded what he said, got mad at your rewording of it, and then started an argument over it. So you're essentially getting mad over nothing and something that you made it up in your head, and a conclusion that you came up with by yourself. That doesn't make any sense.
I'll never make fun of someone for something they cannot change. You could change your weight. You're just honestly lazy.
But you totally would and probably have. You just had an unhinged rant about made-up fat people who can't stop eating burgers, not a real thing. But he also says it's not right to make fun of people for things they can't control. What if you're on antidepressants that make you gain weight? Or anticonvulsants that can do the same thing? What if they have a hormonal disorder? Like, there's
And if they have those problems, his point still stands. It's not changing anything. You're just reinforcing what he's saying and adding more examples. Like he said before, he's talking about the people who do not control their habits.
So I see a fat person eating lots of food, and I'm like, oh, every fat person must be like that. I'm 4 years old. It's an extremely common line of logic with trans people. The entire Libs of TikTok Twitter account is dedicated to that same logic. You see one cringe non-binary teenager on TikTok, and suddenly every conservative is like, yeah, this is reality. This is a completely unavoidable thing that everyone has to deal with unless we, I don't know, kill trans people or something.
Not only is it such a massive massive fucking stretch to try and compare killing trans people to Sensitive Society's video talking about fat people, but it is just so obnoxious and fucking smooth-brained to try and make this comparison of people who watch that kind of content. That is such a weird reach and honestly disgusting thing to say, to assume that about people who have differing opinions than you do.
I do feel bad for the people who are just minding their own business, plus size people, if you will, and they just get shit on for no reason. I don't think that's cool. I think you're just a fucking dick and a douchebag if you're harassing innocent people.
Yeah, I actually fully agree. For example, if you made videos called "She Thinks Being Fat is Healthy and We Should Only Date Fat People," here's my response. These people think being fat is healthy. If you're not fat, you're fat phobic. Not something anyone has ever said. This is not healthy.
If you agreed, then you wouldn't be pulling up these videos, because these people have the most pretentious and disgusting fucking beliefs. If you'd actually watch Sensitive Society's videos like you said, and you've claimed to have watched hours of, you would know these people have come up with the most absurd and ridiculous fucking things of why people should be super unhealthy and overweight. And I'm sure anyone who's watched my videos recognizes this chick. I've already talked about her twice. She loves to spread misinformation and make up her own ideas about how being fat works, along with having a very disgusting, pretentious attitude such as these other people. And also, she did kind of say that. She implied that multiple times, where she had said multiple times, on multiple occasions, that losing weight is fatphobic.
If you make videos like that, you're probably like a pathetic, sad little worm who has to shit on fat people in order to feel comfortable with himself. And Sensitive Society, with his wealth of knowledge on the subject, might say something like, well, they said going to the gym is fat phobic and that's cringe, so they deserve to be made fun of. Like, the logic here is that if fat people do something to deserve being bullied, then it's fine. When he started the video by bullying them for existing.
Yeah, Sensitive Society is just bullying fat people left and right, huh? Not specifically these people trying to spread misinformation and tell people that it's completely fine to be super overweight and unhealthy. Yeah, fuck jokes and humor towards everybody, because Ethan Online is such a massive pussy that he can't take a single joke. Now, not to mention, Sensitive Society is also mentioned on a ridiculous amount of occasions in these videos that if people want to live that way, that's fine. Just don't convince other people to do the same.
Brother, I've got some news for you. Steven Crowder is one of YouTube's favorite white supremacists. They have constantly bent the terms of service around keeping him on the platform, when they should have permanently banned him years ago. But because he brings in a good amount of money for him, they don't care. Steven Crowder thinks exactly the way Sensitive Society does about fat people. Don't shit on people for no reason, unless they talk about how they want to be on Broadway or want to be comfortable on an airplane.
At this point, Ethan's just pulling random shit out of thin air. For whatever reason, bringing up Ethan Crowder and calling him a white supremacist with no background. Things I don't even like Ethan Crowder because his videos bore me. They just really don't entertain me whatsoever. I've never found interest in his videos. But to just shit sling words, once again calling people bigots and white supremacists with no background, no actual evidence of that is fucking ridiculous. I find it really fucking hypocritical that you want to talk about pushing a narrative and then calling people really heavy names like that with nothing to back it up.
Society and the gang of freaks that all make videos just like him constantly lure people into more and more radicalizing content. You watch a video where Sensitive Society says a fat person on Broadway is like a blind person flying a plane. Then you find out, oh hey, Ben Shapiro thinks that way too. Oh hey, they've both done videos about how much they hate Lizzo. Oh, Jordan Peterson also hates black and fat people. And before you know it, that person's only consuming racist propaganda. And I know this very well because it happened to me. When I was a teenager, I fell down a right-wing pipeline that led me to unironically liking Jordan Peterson. It all has to start somewhere, and in my opinion, there's no excuse for being such an obvious part of it when it's not hard to educate yourself on what the world is actually like.
So, yeah, his point basically being is that content like Sensitive Societies, and I guess most general commentary channels who talk about these kinds of things, apparently all lead you down some crazy pipeline of racism, which he just, again, pulled out of his ass, somehow going from fat phobia to racism.
Boy here made a video about my good friend Nick, and there's weirdly more misinformation about Nick on the internet than there should be, and him getting Sneeko banned drew a lot of attention from freakish clout goblins on the internet, so I'm just curious what he has to say.
There's this YouTuber called Nick is Not Green, and this is a YouTuber that I can't stand. I don't know what it is about him. His content is straight up trash. It's the most pandering, least offensive type of content. It's the safest content you can think of.
Oh yeah, you heard him, guys. Nick isn't offensive enough for him, which is why the video is about how he should be banned. He's not offended though. No. Neither is this guy, or this guy, or this guy, or this guy, or this guy. No, none of them are mad.
This content you can think of.
Okay, so for context, I'm gonna sum all this up because this can be explained pretty quick. There's a YouTuber named Nick is Not Green who made a video about someone named Sneeko. Sneeko, in a stream, made a joke about sexually assaulting another YouTuber named Chad. Nick is Not Green made a response video to that video, but at the end of Nick is Not Green's video, he basically tells every one of his viewers to go flag the fuck out of Sneeko's channel, which is against TOS, and there's a reason it called to mass flagging is against the rules.
I think he is like a Walmart version of Andrew Tate, but that's not what I want to focus on. What I want to focus on is the fact that this guy right here wants us and his fans, and this video got 200,000 views. This guy wants us to report both of his channels, but you know who I find more annoying than Sneeko? This guy right here. And this video got 26,000 likes and 8,000 dislikes, so, you know, some pushback, rightfully so. I hate this new narrative of, I don't like him, I don't agree with him, so let me terminate him. Well, here's the thing, Nick, I don't like you, I don't like your content, so I think YouTube should terminate you. Guys, you know how to do it.
This would be a really good point if Nick has ever said in his entire life, I think we should ban Sneeko because I don't like him. But he didn't. And it's really weird that you're lying to make it sound like he did. What would also...
Nick is Not Green doesn't have to say that if he finished his video saying, okay guys, here's a tutorial on how to ban somebody and mass flag them and report them. That's literally what he did at the end of the video. I'm gonna show the clip right now.
Definitely does not belong on their platform. If you watch this video and you also believe that Sneeko should be banned from YouTube, you can go to his channel pages, click about, and then click the flag icon on the right side of the page and report the user. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
When you do some shit like that, you literally don't even have to say it. You don't have to say, let's ban him because I don't like him. You're just telling your entire audience to go ban people. Thing is, I agree with him. What Sneeko did was gross and it was against TOS. It was honestly really distasteful. But Nick is Not Green also broke TOS.
What's really embarrassing for sensitive society here is that Nick clarifies that he doesn't believe in deplatforming people he disagrees with, which does fly in the face of his entire point in making this video.
You realize that it's insanely hypocritical for Nick is Not Green to say, I don't believe in banning people and deplatforming people, and then finishing his video coercing his audience to mass flag a channel. It doesn't fly in the face of Sensitive's argument, it just shows that Nick is Not Green is a hypocrite.
Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
Holy shit. Fun fact, asking your fans, that's breaking the terms of service for massive flagging.
Hey, fun fact, that's a lie. Please do your research.
Okay, so I did my research. What is considered harassment on YouTube? Content that incites others to harass or threaten individuals on or off YouTube. Content that encourages abusive fan behavior such as doxing, dogpiling, brigading, or off-platform targeting. So, yeah, when you make content that incites people to mass flag and report a channel, that's basically harassment. You've basically had your audience dogpile people. Or, not you, but Nick is Not Green, but point still stands. Yeah, it took me 5 seconds to look this up. Stop making shit up, dude. Anyways, that's about the end of the segment where he talks about sensitive society. Afterwards, he talks about another YouTuber, but I'm just not going to get into that. Basically, Ethan is Online's whole point was to make his ad. Sensitive society is trying to radicalize his viewers, which is not true in the slightest. That is such an over-exaggeration in every way possible. Not to mention how hypocritical it is of him to try and say that he's radicalizing his viewers by manipulating his audience when Ethan is Online leaves out so much context throughout the entire video, consistently misshapes and transforms sensitive society's words into something that he never said or implied, and can't go at least a minute without saying the word bigot, racist, homophobe, or something to get his audience's attention because they start falling asleep in the middle of his video. I just don't understand how you can make a video talking about someone being hateful and the entire video be a condescending piece of shit, and at the same time holding yourself in such a high and mighty stance because your content is apparently better because it's not gameplay commentary. Ethan, you're a jackass.